Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is such a huge and spectacular crowd. Thank you all for coming out on this super cold morning. We really appreciate it. This is our new Family Safety Center, and it is really an unbelievable dream in the making, and it's a reality for all of us today. It is the largest and one of the most comprehensive family safety centers in the entire country. And there are a lot of them, and that's a big deal. We have some family safety centers here from across Tennessee. Just shout and raise your hand so we know that you're here. So we're really pleased that our sister family safety centers have come out to Nashville today to join us here. You know, you can look at this building, it's just filled with bricks. There are thousands and thousands of bricks that make up this building. And I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking this is a special day, and I'm really lucky and honored to be able to stand here and talk to you about this day. But there are thousands of bricks in this building. There are thousands of Nashvillians who have been a huge part of making this happen, not just over the past year or two in the planning, but over the decades, in wanting and hoping that something like this will be created to make the experience easier for domestic violence victims. And you all, a lot of you all are those people in this audience today. There are survivors and their family members who have wished and asked for more. There are dedicated professionals that have worked in this area in the good times and the hard times and persevered for a day like this, where there's just so much hope and opportunity at our doorstep. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for being a brick that made up this building. I'm so proud to be in your numbers. Thank you. I also want to thank, we have 3 mayors who have been a part of this project, and I'm not sure any other city can say that they have had 3 mayors in a row prioritize domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, and human trafficking the way ours have. We have Mayor Carl Dean right here. We have Mayor Megan Barry right here. And our current mayor, Mayor David Briley. With the creation of the Family Safety Center, it is easier than ever for victims to get the help they need. It is easier because it is convenient. It is easier because people will want to come here. When you see the inside of this building, you'll see why. And their kids are going to want to come here because it's super fun, the playrooms that we have set up. And it's easier to come here for victims because there's a lot of services in one place. We have advocates, Metro advocates, police, counselors, and detectives, the Nashville Children's Alliance, the District Attorney's Office, the Department of Children's Services, the Sexual Assault Center, Legal Aid Society, the YWCA, Agape, Mary Parish, and so many more partners that are going to be onboarding with us and finding ways to work in this building to better serve victims in our community. And one place really matters when it comes to victims of severe abuse and harm. And it matters in a way that each of us can understand. We each have a smartphone. Many of us have smartphones. And a lot of things happen on this one smartphone that make our lives easier every day. If you use yours the way I used mine, your smartphone is your telephone, it's your camera, it's your mailbox, it's your calculator, it's your flashlight. I'm going to date myself here. It's your boombox. It's your map. It's your Rolodex. It's an entire arcade. It's a Sears catalog and the Encyclopedia Britannica. And a lot of us, at least certainly me, consider my phone to be my lifeline because so much of what I need is on that one single device. And that is what a Family Safety Center is. It is a lifeline for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse because they can get so many of the services that they need in one place. Mayor David Briley said back in October at the bridge ceremony to memorialize domestic violence victims, he said, he was talking about this very day, and that it was coming up soon. And he said, you know, that's not the finish line. That's actually going to be the starting line. And I've repeated those words over and over and over again in the last 5 months. And I've got to say that it is the best starting line our community has ever had. And it is the best starting line because just look around you. It's the best starting line because we're all standing at it together. And that's a great thing for victims in our community. We're going to show a video because watching what we're talking about will speak so much louder than anything I can say or any description I can give. You're going to watch this video, and it's going to show why this is a proud day for us and why this is such a proud day for our city.
Nashville is a community of many blessings, with a generous spirit and a willingness to help our neighbors. And right now, behind closed doors, there is an epidemic in our country. It has no regard for financial status, creed, race, age, or gender. Domestic violence. Thousands of families are affected in our community. Thousands. And behind closed doors, those who have experienced interpersonal violence can feel they are alone, with no way out, no promise of safety, no hope for the future. Fear becomes their constant companion. And the support system of helpful and healing services, it can feel difficult to access, even intimidating. But Nashville is committed to change the course of this epidemic. Metro's Office of Family Safety, alongside partner agencies, has led a visionary effort to create one of the world's largest facilities dedicated to helping survivors and improving offender accountability, the Family Safety Center. Our city now offers a central location where those who have experienced domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, or child abuse can find a safe place. A place that offers healing and hope within a welcoming community of experts. It's free and confidential. The Family Safety Center. Our doors are open, so theirs will be as well.
My department, Metro's Office of Family Safety, would really like to thank Creative Solutions for the outstanding work that they did on that video. And we've got one more to show you. We're really, really proud of it. I have the honor of being able to introduce our mayor, David Briley, today. He has been a supporter of this project for many years as vice mayor and now as mayors. Mayor Briley has the credentials that I personally most value. He has spent the vast majority of his career as a public servant. For 12 years, Mayor Briley is focused on equity in our community. He's focused on public education. He's cared about housing, focusing on transportation, neighborhood preservation, economic development, and the reason we're all here today, his commitment to public safety. Mayor David Briley.
You're lucky if you're back there and you get a little bit of sun. It's cold under here. Let me start by saying welcome to the 19th Council Manic District. Councilman Freddie O'Connell is glad to welcome us here this morning. I know that we're joined by a whole list of dignitaries, and I'm going to risk missing somebody by acknowledging a few. Former District Attorney General Tori Johnson is here. Judge Phil Smith is here because I know this issue is critically important to them. I know my former colleague Karen Johnson, the current Register of Deeds, has joined us this morning as well. The Circuit Court Clerk, Ricky Rooker, is here somewhere. I saw him. And then I'm sure I'm missing somebody, so raise your hand if you want to. Okay, too late. Miss you. That was your chance right there. Chief Steve Anderson is going to speak in just a few minutes, I know, and the new Commissioner of the Department of Children's Services, Jennifer Nichols, is going to speak as well, so welcome this morning. And of course, District Attorney General Glenn Funk is going to come up to the stage in just a few minutes as well. One of the things, first, it's my honor and privilege to be here on behalf of the residents and citizens of Davidson County to help cut a ribbon on this very important facility today, because family safety is critically important to our community when it comes to how we measure our success in being a safe city. One of the things I've observed in my 1 year plus 1 day as mayor, which yesterday was an anniversary on that, is that no matter, going back to then Mayor Bredesen and through Mayor Purcell and Mayor Dean and Mayor Berry, there has always been one thing. No matter what their particular agenda was or their perspective on any particular issue, there has always been a sense of optimism about this city. And it was a sense that we could come together, we could invest in ourselves, we could find a bridge, we could build things that we had never had before in the city of Nashville. And I hope that as long as I'm mayor, I will share that strong sense of optimism. And today, I think, as much as I said it's the starting line in the past, I hope people look at this with a sense of great optimism. That in the city of Nashville, unlike probably any other city in the country, we can come together, we can do better, we can protect more families, we can make sure that victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse and child abuse can come into a facility that is built in a different way, that is trauma-informed, that has all the resources necessary to protect our families, to build a stronger community, and that this city will continue to come together each and every year and have those facilities available to the folks who live in Nashville. I'm confident that we can, and I am confident in for one particular reason. And I think if you've been around this building or this facility, or go back to the Gene Crow Advocacy Center back in the old Ben West building, you know that one person in particular really has brought this together and pushed it to where it is today. So before I sit down, I want to say thank you to one person who has found a way in this city to bring people together, to fight harder, to push more, and to get us here, and that is Diane Lance. So let's give Diane Lance a round of applause. Because it is clear to me that we would not have one of the country's largest family safety centers in Nashville. It is clear to me that we wouldn't be trauma-informed like we are. It is clear to me that we would not have so many people here today pushing forward without Diane Lance. This facility is already a model around the country. It is a place that the city of Nashville can be proud of. It is a place that acknowledges the optimism of this city, and I look forward to working with Diane, her team, in the many years to come. Now, one last thank you, and I should have done this at the beginning, and that is to Nancy Whittemore and the General Services team, because we would not be here right now. The building wouldn't be like it is. It would not have all the facilities that we need as a city without Nancy and her team. So thank you very much for coming today. I would like to invite Chief Steve Anderson to come up and follow me with some remarks. I hear that he is now in the next door building, has figured out how to get in and where his office is. Maybe we still have some problem with dimming the lights. I don't know, Chief. Come on up. Thank you very much.
Good morning. And Mayor Briley is correct. I'm still finding my way around. You may have heard that there's an elevator that I didn't know was there for about 3 weeks. And so it again, to Nancy and her team, it's a great facility, and the greatest thing about both sides is it gives everybody that does the hands-on work a great facility to work out of, and it's very inviting to the public. And thank you, Diane, for inviting me here today. I certainly wouldn't have missed this. I can't remember the last time I've seen four mayors under one roof. Mayor Bredesen, Governor Bredesen, thank you for being here. Ms. Andrea Conte, former First Lady of the city and of the state, thank you for being here also. Going back to the year 2010, then District Attorney General Tori Johnson asked me to go visit the Nashville Children's Alliance and meet with Ms. June Turner, the executive director. And during that meeting, there was a discussion about the possibility of creating a facility where that all the partners that serve the victims of crime across Nashville could be together. And the idea was, in close proximity, you would have a lot of interaction. It would be like a one-stop shopping type place for those people that need our assistance. And what was talked about then was having the Nashville Children's Alliance, the Office of the District Attorney, the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, and various components of the police department, the Youth Services Division, the Domestic Violence Division, and our Sex Abuse Division. And certainly I thought this would be a great approach to the work we do and would allow us to serve the citizens of Nashville even better. Now, a short time later, I was invited to become a board member of the Nashville Children's Alliance, and I was honored to do that, and I still serve on that board today. As we continue to discuss this, a name was given to the project: One Roof. One Roof. The idea being all of these services would be under one roof. And I remember the day we approached Mayor Carl Dean to talk to him about this concept. Now, he didn't give any outward appearance of any interest. He's good at that. Or at least he thought he did. And for those of you that have worked around and worked for Mayor Dean, you know he doesn't make any commitment until he has carefully weighed all the options and given careful consideration to all the details. But, like just now, he has a way of locking eyes with you and holding his head in a certain manner that lets you know he's interested and he's going to think it through. And you can almost see the wheels turning. I knew that day we had his interest. And later, I'm sure after weighing all those considerations, he started the process to purchase this very land that we're standing on. He then presented an ordinance to the Metropolitan Council to create the Office of Family Safety, and he named Diane Lance as the director. He signed that ordinance on June 17th, 2015. That started the whole process. And to make sure that all involved get all the proper credit, Mayor Dean started the process. Mayor Megan Berry ensured that all the funding was in place to get this facility started. Then Mayor David Briley tended to all the details to make sure that it got completed on time, and you can see it's a grand facility. So we're standing here today, all the bricks and mortar are now in place, and Nashville's Family Safety Center is connected under one roof to police headquarters. And here under this one roof, you can find all the partners that are dedicated to serving Nashville citizens. As I said before, the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, the District Attorney's Office, the National Children's Alliance, the Police Department. And the cutting of the ribbon today, that vision becomes a reality. There are young children who have been abused to the point they have virtually lost their lives. This is the place that will give them their lives back. There are victims of domestic violence who desperately need our assistance. This is the place they will find that assistance. And most of all, find comfort here. I'm very proud to be a part of this partnership, and I'd like to recognize the leadership in our department that makes this possible. Over to my right, somewhere, Captain Dahana Jones. Stand up, Dahana. Dahana is the commander of our Youth Services Division. Captain Michelle Richter, commander of our Domestic Violence Division. And Lieutenant Virginia Kerrigan, commander of our Sex Abuse Section. Thank you. And finally, I want to give credit to everyone that made all of this possible. All our past and present mayors, our present and past council members, all present and past members of the Board of Directors for the Nashville Children's Alliance, our previous District Attorney General Torrey Johnson, our current District Attorney General Glenn Funk, the past and present leadership of the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, and to all the others that contributed and made this possible. It's now my privilege to introduce Miss June Turner. Come on up here, June. June is the director of the Nashville Children's Alliance, and I know of no one better suited to provide the leadership for the employees of this organization. Her life's experience make her especially qualified. Her work in the office of the District Attorney General made her aware of how important it is to provide all assistance and the support necessary to the victims of crime. Her work as a kindergarten teacher made her especially sensitive to the needs of children. And there's one thing that when I saw June's resume that wasn't on there, cheerleader. Now, I don't know if she was a cheerleader in college or high school, but she is today. I get on a regular basis emails from her, encouragement, motivation, and I suspect many of you here get those similar emails. I know her employees do. Day in and day out, those employees, those counselors, immersed into the deepest tragedies of human life, and they come to work every day excited about the work they do. And June is the person, the thread that holds all that together. Thank you, June.
Thank you, Chief. I'll sit out in the cold every day to get that type of introduction. Thank you so much. The Victor S. Johnson III Nashville Children's Alliance has dreamed and worked since we opened our doors in 1992 of being co-located with our multidisciplinary team partners, our DCS case managers, our assistant DAs, our metro detectives. And we thought that would result in better services for children and families. What we began to realize a few years ago was that our vision was not quite big enough. We needed to be co-located with additional partners to work seamlessly together to address issues of child abuse, domestic violence, human trafficking, and other interpersonal crimes. We are so grateful for the vision of our past Metro leadership and our current Metro leadership, who have made this vision and these dreams a reality. Their work and investment in this beautiful Family Safety Center is already benefiting families and children. Since moving here in January, we have witnessed families who have benefited from all of us being located in one building. We have one family that presented to us who, within that one family, had experienced sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, and witnessing violent crimes. This mom and this family had worked and supported her children, her son and her daughter, through their therapeutic journey with our therapist and the prosecution and conviction of her son's sexual abuser. However, the mother carried her own pain and suffering, and she had done that in silence. But because we have moved to this building, this mother now was finally willing to seek help of her own and assistance of her own to help her move toward healing and safety. She was connected with additional counselors, detectives, and resources to help her break the silence. This family will finally be able to walk forward together and to move toward a better life. And it is thanks to the partnerships all located together in this building who came together to surround the mother and children with care, protection, comfort, and healing. Today is a celebration for those of us who work in this building and community professionals. However, it is a much larger celebration for the vulnerable children and families who we serve every day. They are the winners, and the building helps the Nashville Children's Alliance continue to move toward our goal of making Nashville the safest city in the country for children. Well done, Nashville. Well done. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Department of Children's Services Commissioner, Jennifer Nichols. Commissioner Nichols was appointed by Governor Lee to be the DCS Commissioner in January of this year. Prior to joining DCS, she served as Assistant District Attorney General in Shelby County for over 20 years. During her tenure there, she was the Deputy District Attorney, and she supervised the day-to-day operations as well as staff. Before being named the deputy, she served as the chief prosecutor over the Special Victims Unit. There she supervised and handled child homicides, child physical abuse, child sexual abuse, elder abuse, and other special projects. In that role, she worked closely with the Department of Children's Services as well as law enforcement. In addition to her work in the District Attorney's Office in Shelby County, Governor Haslam appointed Ms. Nichols to the bench as a criminal court judge in Shelby County, January 2018, where she served until September 2018. Ms. Nichols is a graduate of the University of Alabama, whoop whoop, and the Cumberland School of Law at Samford. Commissioner Nichols.
Good morning. I feel a little bit like an interloper. I'm that, I almost said uncle, but I'm that aunt that comes to the family reunion that nobody's met. And I say that because I know how much work, how much blood, sweat, and tears that you all have poured into this project. And you ought to be proud, so clap for yourself. Seriously. What an amazing day. And even though I'm new to Nashville and new to this role, I was honored and privileged to be a part of the first co-location in Shelby County back in the 90s. I remember when my boss called me into his office and he said, "Jennifer, I'm gonna put you in charge of a unit." Well, I'd been probably been prosecuting about 5 or 6 years, and I was feeling pretty proud of myself. And I said, "All right, I'll run that unit." Didn't know anything about it. And I said, "Well, who's going to be in my unit?" And he said, "Oh, nobody." You're a unit of one. I'm like, all right. And that's the truth. What I didn't know is that I would sit next door to 4 DCS caseworkers and their supervisor who was down the hall, and 4 Memphis Police Department sergeants and their lieutenant who sat down the hall. And those people are friends to this day. They are lifelong friends because like what you've done here, we did there. And the place is amazing, just as yours is. Earlier this week, I listened as Governor Lee talked about the state of the state. And one of the things he said is that we and you, as leaders and stakeholders, can be proud of your accomplishments. Things may look pretty good today from where you're sitting, but do you stay here? Do you stop? And the answer is clear. You don't. Things may look, he gave an analogy about climbing a mountain with his daughter, and they reached the base camp, and he's looking up, and whoo, it's a big job, and he's looking down, and the view was pretty good. So he challenged us, and I challenge you to continue moving forward, because the work you will do here is the most important work. I will never in my life forget the children that I met at the Child Advocacy Center in Shelby County. There's a little girl that goes to St. Jude every month, not because she has cancer, but because she contracted HIV from her grandfather, who knew he had it. She was also a witness to domestic violence. These are the families and these are the children that you do the work for. So thank you for what you have done to get to this point, and thank you for what you will do. I look forward to working with you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce your District Attorney, Glenn Funk. Now, I was looking around at the people that preceded me, especially June, and I thought, June doesn't have her coat on. I gotta take my coat off. And he goes, "You're gonna take your coat off." I said, "I'm gonna take my coat off." And I looked at him and I said, "You're the tallest man on the row. You gonna take your coat off?" He's like, "No, and you're gonna tell him, aren't you?" And I said, "I may mention it." You know, with his varied background as being a public defender, an assistant district attorney, and then a lawyer in private practice, he has all of the skills and all of the tools to run the office of this beautiful city. And I was reading a little bit about him in preparation for these remarks, and he said something that as a career prosecutor I absolutely loved, and it applies to us today. He said he wanted the victims, and that includes our DV victims and our children, he wanted the victims to have the best lawyer in the courtroom. And I thought, wasn't that fabulous? So with that, I introduce Glenn Funk, and thank you all.
Commissioner Nichols actually tempered her remarks because she said she was going to introduce me as the wimpiest speaker because I was wearing the coat, and I thought to myself, well, either I'm the wimpiest or I'm the only one with common sense. So I'm not sure. The Old Testament prophet Habakkuk lived in a time of great injustice where people were marginalized, victimized, and brutalized. And the Lord went to Habakkuk and told him to preach the Lord's justice of loving each other and supporting each other. And the Lord told Habakkuk to preach that word and to write it on the wall and make it plain. Today, with this facility, our community has written on the wall a justice of loving each other and supporting victims, and we're making it plain. Our office in the district attorney's office supports victims, and the most vulnerable victims are children, sexual assault victims, the elderly, and victims of domestic violence. That's what we do to support victims, and what this facility does for us is we get to have office space here where we can meet victims where they are. We have a program in the DA's office where every victim of domestic violence gets contacted the morning after they were victimized, the morning after They swore out a warrant morning after they had to call the police. And we invite those folks to come down and meet with us that day so that we can talk to them and provide them the support they need and start letting them know about the court process. And we're able to work with the Office of Family Safety and get them hooked up with whatever services they might need, whether it's counseling, whether it's housing, whatever. But there are some folks who, after the traumatic experience that led to an arrest, can't get off work the next day. And so they can't come down to our office. They can't come down. This facility allows us to have them come down after work and after hours, come down instead of coming downtown, coming out to a place where there is free parking, which is valuable in this city, a place where we can meet them on their own terms in a way that they know that they're safe, the way they know that we're going to help them be healthy, and the way they know that they're going to get justice. This building also houses children's services and office space where we can collaborate with police officers, Department of Children's Service, the sex assault unit, the domestic violence unit, in ways to where the prosecutions are going to be more successful, where offenders can be held accountable, and where victims of all these crimes can be supported. It's very important. While most people start with acknowledgments and then talk about what they want to talk about, I want to kind of end with acknowledgments because these are all important to acknowledge the folks that have brought us here. And we've heard some and a little bit about some of the folks that helped bring us here. Our city has had a long commitment to victims' rights, to victim services, to victim support. Andrea Conte has been a huge part of that. And she and Kathy Gurley with You Have the Power have been great. We also have other victims' rights organizations, Tennessee Voices for Victims, Verna Wyatt and Valerie Craig. These are huge assets to our city and assets to those of us who are not necessarily the most powerful, in some ways the least powerful. And thank goodness we have powerful people who are giving their lives to serve others. Mayor and Governor Bredesen set a tone for this city, and we appreciate his service. Other folks that have shown tremendous leadership, my predecessor, Torrey Johnson, district attorney for 26 years. He had a commitment to justice. He worked to try to get folks to cooperate, collaborate, to be more effective and efficient in prosecution. He started the domestic violence unit. He was part of the vision team that ultimately led to this. Chief Anderson, tremendous leadership as the chief of the police department, and puts some of the absolute best detectives in the world in supporting child abuse, and supporting the rape victims, and supporting domestic violence. Mayors, we have had a consistent run of mayors, even predating you, Mayor Bredesen, but all the way through that have been the types of folks that have supported this type of work. Carl Dean was the one who first started the real work toward getting this facility here, and without the commitment that he showed, we never could have got this off the ground. Megan Berry continued that, and I appreciate Megan Berry. And let me tell you one thing about Megan Berry and what she's done for this facility right here. We know about child victims, we know about rape victims, we know about domestic violence victims, but the fastest growing area of prosecution and our most vulnerable in our community are really elder abuse victims. And it was her leadership that let us put a third floor on this, because at some point we're going to be having a whole team dedicated to elder abuse that we can house here and co-locate here, because essentially it's the family safety center, and that includes the folks, our parents and our grandparents, and I thank Mayor Berry for that. And of course, David Briley, who is seeing this across the finish line, took the baton a year ago and has really made sure that it would be finished in the proper way. I don't want to leave without thanking Chris Buford, who's the team leader for domestic violence in our office, leads a team of 10 lawyers. Jan Norman's the team leader for crimes against children. And before Chris, the team leader was Anna Escobar, who's now a judge, and I don't know if she's here because she might be on the bench, but we've had some tremendous leadership within the district attorney's office as far as folks that are on the front lines doing this work every single day. been told that I'm supposed to also turn it over to Diane Lance, and Diane spoke first, and nobody got to introduce her, and she is so selfless that she doesn't necessarily want a big introduction, but I want to take this opportunity to point out how we got here. She convinced Mayor Dean to let her do a 2-year study that would help all of Nashville get a grasp on the very serious problem that is domestic violence. Before the nation really thought domestic violence was a huge problem, Mayor Dean and Diane Lance were already working, getting a group of some 200 Nashvillians to focus on this issue. They started the Office of Family Safety, and then how did we end up here? Diane Lance did the type of thing that we want government officials to do, which is do things the right way with the right research and put the right effort into it. And she led teams around the country to go to different family safety centers and see the best parts of their family safety centers. And then she had the wisdom to say to those folks, if you were building your family safety center today, now that you've been in it for a while, what do you wish you had done? Don't just tell me your brags, tell me what you wish. And then she took that and came back and made best practices together and was able to get the collaboration needed to be able to get this facility built. It's been bragged on today that it's the biggest. Yeah, biggest is nice, but I've been to a number of these family safety centers. This is the best, and we are lucky to have that, and it's thanks to her. But her leadership is not just about bricks and mortar. It's about getting people to cooperate and collaborate. We have great leadership in the community. The folks that you've heard speaking, Chief, June, mayors, members of the police department, members of the Department of Children's Services, the Torrey Johnson Nashville Children's Alliance. And it's one thing to have well-meaning people. It's another thing to get people in the same room and come together with a comprehensive and complete plan that actually gets the job done. Because as nice as this building is, if we didn't have the collaboration and the partnerships that the Office of Family Safety has done the leadership for, we'd have a great building, but we wouldn't be getting the job done. And this is thanks to Diane Lance. And I want to thank you one more time, Diane. Thank you. Unless you want me to keep going for a while. Is that okay?
Thank you, Glenn, and I do want to point out that Judge Smith is here, who was one of the original people that went to Gene Crow to talk to Mayor Dean about the importance of making things better in our community for victims. But I appreciate that, and anyone in this crowd knows that I've had the privilege of standing on the shoulders of some tremendous giants in this community. So thank you. We have one more video done by Creative Communications. Again, such great work. It's an awareness video, and as we all know, awareness is critical to make changes in our community. So we're going to play that now. It's called Alarms.
I'm fine. Everything's good.
No, I don't want anyone to know.
He didn't mean to hurt me.
She just got out of hand.
It's not as bad as it looks.
You don't understand.
We love each other.
He could get into trouble.
He's a good boy.
She needs some help.
Please don't tell anybody.
If I leave, he gets the children. He will kill me.
I don't know what to do.
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 So I know you all are ready to get in out of the cold. We're coming down in our program. We have a couple more things to do. I'm inviting the speakers and the leaders of agencies to head over to the ribbon for the cutting.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.